Good evening, viewers. You're watching 7 at 7, the only news bulletin where I curate the day's top 7 stories for you. I'm Preeti Choudhry, and these are the headlines. Grilling of actor Jacqueline Fernandez underway alongside Sukesh's aide Pinky Irani. Actor under scanner for 200 crore extortion scam. Massive exodus in Goa Congress. 8 out of 11 Congress MLAs join BJP. 40-member Goa Assembly Congress has 11 legislatures, while BJP has now 20. Bengal blame game over Kolkata violence. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee breaks silence, accused BJP of getting outsider goons for vandalism in the city. Language war takes centre stage in Karnataka. Former Chief Minister Kumaraswamy protests against Hindi Divas. Bommai says no question of neglecting Kannada. This is our top story on 6 p.m. Prime. Child rights body seeks action against Rahul Gandhi. Says Rahul used children as political tools in Bharat Jodo Yatra. Supreme Court green flags longer tenures for Ganguly and Jay Shah at BCCI. Says office bearers can have 2 consecutive terms. Our top story is an exclusive investigation by India Today viewers. We all saw images of Bangalore completely flooded, inundated with water. We also heard the rumbling of bulldozers as it went through illegal encroachments, especially by the banks of lakes. But what we have realized after this investigation is that the rot runs way deeper, viewers. It is a nexus between civil engineers, babus, importantly, politicians, where civic apathy is sacrificed at the altar of a very fat bribe.
Bulldozers rumble through. Encroachments blamed for the recent flooding being cleared. As the hulking JCBs struggle to deal with Bengaluru's civic mess, a charge that civil contractors pay a staggering 40% cut for every civic project here has gathered steam and exploded now. An India Today investigation has dug deeper and gotten to the core of the dirt. We find out how public works could have been compromised brazenly in a city of some 10 million people over the years. And our probe indicates the rot could be widespread, percolating down from elected netas at the local level across party lines. Corruption not limited to a single party or a government official, it could be pervasive. This is KT Manjunath, head of the main contractor association linked to Bengaluru's BBMP municipality. When investigated, he first reveals how municipal engineers and inspectors issue completion certificates to contractors for shoddy public works in exchange for bribes. Listen in.
हमारे म्युनिसिपल में इंजीनियर को गवर्नमेंट इंजीनियर है, उसको टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम है, वो सभी पैसा मांगने में बिजी, अच्छा पैसे कमाने में बिजी है। वो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर करने के लिए, वो ठीक से करने के लिए इंटरेस्ट नहीं है। अच्छा, वो ड्रेनेज सभी ग्रेडियंट अच्छे काम कर दे तो पानी कोई नहीं रुक नहीं सकते, सभी जाते हैं। तो फिर आप अच्छा काम क्यों नहीं करते? अच्छा, वो हम काम करने के लिए वो इंस्ट्रक्शन कौन देना है? इलेक्टेड बॉडी और इंजीनियर्स का, वो इंटरेस्ट नहीं देता। हमको क्या, हम उसको पैसे दिया,
हाँ।
दे गए,
हाँ।
तो हमको ऐसे ही काम फिनिश करके बिल 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 करने के लिए जरूर था।
अच्छा।
जरूर पैसे, हम भी पैसे कमाने के आए हैं।
करप्शन तो ऐसा नहीं था ना, करप्शन नहीं होता, करप्शन तो हमेशा का
काम अब ज्यादा हो गया।
अच्छा, पहले कितना था, अब कितना हो गया?
पहले
आप कितना पहले देते थे, अब कितना देते हैं?
पहले 15-20, अब 40 का ज्यादा हो गया।
40 से ज्यादा हो
ज्यादा,
बट आप भी देते हैं?
डेफिनेटली। अगर नहीं दिया तो काम नहीं।
जो करप्शन का जो है ब्रेकअप क्या है?
तो काम लेने के लिए देना है।
कितना?
काम लेने के लिए 12 to 15।
12 to 15% है।
और बाद में फाइल सभी फाइल अभी वर्क ऑर्डर लेने के लिए 2%। तो काम करके बिल लगाने के लिए एक आदमी को, एक इंजीनियर को 5, एक इंजीनियर यही
5%
यही का 5%, AEE का 3।
अच्छा, ओके।
और अगेन एग्जीक्यूटिव इंजीनियर को 2।
So you heard the head of Bengaluru's Contractor Association admitting that a contractor usually pays up a large chunk of 12 to 15% of project cost to the local neta of the area, and another 10 to 12% split between engineers and bureaucrats at different levels in the initial stages of every single project.
25% तो आपने अभी कैलकुलेट करा दिया, बाकी का जो 15% वो किधर जाता है?
बाकी को फाइल मोमेंट के लिए बिल लेने के लिए।
वर्क कंप्लीशन होता है, वर्क कंप्लीशन सर्टिफिकेट लेना होता होगा यहाँ से।
हाँ।
तो उसके लिए भी पैसे देने होते हैं?
हाँ,
उसका कितना है?
वो आधा %।
अच्छा, आधा %।
The remaining 15% is given to bureaucrats, engineers and office boys for file movement at different stages. Another 0.5% goes into securing the completion certificate from local authorities.
क्या वो इंस्पेक्शन जो करते हैं वो सही से करते हैं या पेपर पे हो जाता है? ये ऑफिस में हो जाता है?
ऑफिस में।
मतलब जाते नहीं देखने काम कैसा हुआ?
82 years.
Yeah, I met him.
When?
Kal.
KT Manjunath now explains how local politicians in power allegedly rigged the online bidding for civic projects from the word go. Contractors greasing their palms with up to 15% of the estimated total cost win the awards.
बट टेंडर तो टेंडर होता है ना,
किसको बोलता है उसको टेंडर।
कैसे हो? तो ई टेंडर होता है, ऑनलाइन अप्लाई करो, तो उसमें कैसे सेटिंग होगा?
टेंडर कॉल करता है, वो टेंडर लगा, वो बोलता है।
कौन?
वो इलेक्टेड बॉडी बोलता है वो इसको देना है, तो मेरे को बोल दिया, मेरे देने के लिए काम देने को बोल। हम क्या करता है, हम एक लगाते हैं और हमारा दोस्त का भी एक और सपोर्टिंग डॉक्यूमेंट लगा, किसी और लगा दिया उसको रिजेक्ट करता।
लोकल पॉलिटिशियन, एमएलए, काउंसलर वो भी डिस्टर्ब नहीं करता?
बिफोर दैट ओनली, इफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पहले दिया था ना, वो पूजा का आता है, नहीं तो वो काम करने के लिए 6 months 1 year पहले देना है।
अच्छा,
हाँ।
फिर वो पूजा के लिए आएगा?
नहीं तो नहीं आएगा।
तो पूजा के लिए आने का मतलब कि विराट ही उसको पैसे दिए गए हैं, तो वो कितना % होता है?
ये 12 to 15।
तो 2 करोड़ का काम है तो हाउ मच, कितना पैसे दे के आते हैं आप? 30 lakhs to politician.
A startling confession from the horse's mouth about rampant bribing breaking Bengaluru. That's how corruption may have corroded Bengaluru's civic infrastructure.
Again,
Stay tuned for more. This big expose has just only gotten started. With Mohammad Hizbullah, this is India Today's special investigation team.
Language wars continue to be a big flashpoint where Karnataka is concerned. The latest emotive issue in that, Hindi Divas.
A full-scale language war Nataka. On the day India celebrates Hindi Divas, former Karnataka Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy has escalated the Hindi versus Kannada war in the poll-bound state. With this protest staged by his party, the JDS, claiming a push by the BJP government to impose Hindi in Karnataka, claiming that the Modi government is dividing India over language. The JDS also staged a noisy protest inside the state assembly against Hindi Divas.
Celebrate in this country all the languages which you are using in different states. That languages also can be from the central government. They can celebrate the Kannada Divas, other language Divas.
Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai has hit back at the JDS, asserting that there is no neglect of Kannada. Bommai refers to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's pledge to strengthen regional languages. Home Minister Amit Shah, while marking Hindi Divas, praised the language and appealed to everyone to respect all regional languages. Shah described Hindi as a friend of all Indian languages and not a competitor.
हिंदी देश की कोई भाषा की स्पर्धक हो नहीं सकती। हिंदी देश की सभी भाषाओं की सखी है। हिंदी के समृद्ध होने से इस देश की सारी भाषाएं समृद्ध होगी और इस देश की सारी भाषाओं के समृद्ध होने से हिंदी ही समृद्ध होती है।
Amidst the language war, Congress MP Rahul Gandhi also tweeted that languages are made of emotions. All of them are beautiful. So is the Hindi-Kannada divide being stoked in poll-bound Karnataka only for political dividends?
They are also against the state government on spending taxpayers' money to celebrate Hindi Divas across the state. And they say that they will continue the protest against imposition of Hindi in the days to come. With video journalist Madhu Sagairaj reporting for India Today, Bengaluru.
All right, viewers, let's quickly cut across to a segment of Big Day in Court and a big development in the Supreme Court today. The Supreme Court, viewers, has allowed changes in the BCCI constitution, which clearly means the cooling period between BCCI and state not a must, which translates that Jai Shah and Saurav Ganguly now eligible for re-election. Well, that's the big development in Supreme Court today, but I want to quickly shift focus while mourning, viewers, continues for the death of Queen Elizabeth. The newly minted King Charles facing a bit of heat on throwing tantrums. They say uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. King Charles III of the United Kingdom is proof of that. Succeeding the British throne after the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, King Charles has been on tour of Scotland, Ireland and Wales. And while the new king has been received warmly by the British public, his cranky outbursts have been going viral. In the latest, Charles was seen losing his temper over a leaking pen while he was signing a visitor's book at Hillsborough Castle near Belfast in Northern Ireland. The king got annoyed after the pen leaked during the signing ceremony and remarked, "I can't bear this bloody thing every stinking time." In another clip, King Charles can be seen waving his hands around his desk. signaling his royal servants to remove the papers and trinkets on his desk for him as he sits down. The interaction with royal servants left Twitter ablaze. Some commented saying, sympathy won't last long with this sort of behavior. Meanwhile, Not My King anti-monarchists' protests were also staged outside the British Parliament. Charles 73 automatically became King of the United Kingdom and 14 other realms including Australia, Canada, Jamaica, New Zealand and Papua New Guinea, following the death of Queen Elizabeth. Will he be as popular as her? That's the big question. We're watching a fact-check segment where we bust certain claims masquerading to be facts on social media platforms and WhatsApp group. Now, an image was circulated of the auto driver's house where Arvind Kejriwal went for dinner. The image seemingly had the picture of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi on it. Factually incorrect, viewers. This was fake news which was being circulated. That image was digitally altered. Fake news. Didn't quite happen. There was no picture of the Prime Minister.